Hello and welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new here. My name is Joni and I'm the mom behind simplelivingmama.com, where we help moms simplify life, home, and homeschool. And today's video is going to be a curriculum video. I'm very excited to dive into this with you today. It's going to be long, it's going to be in depth. I'm going to show you lots of different books and lots of different things, but I'm excited about it. So if you're new here, I am a homeschool mom of 7. So I have 7 kids who I am homeschooling. They're all still at home homeschooling. We use the Mater Amabilis curriculum. It's a free online Catholic Charlotte Mason based curriculum. We use it for the majority of all of our subjects. So our homeschool is very literature based. We use living books for nearly every single subject. Now, you will see that I do make tweaks. I change some things. Not everything that we use in our homeschool is 100% Charlotte Mason. So I'm not a purist. I'm very much Charlotte Mason inspired, but I do feel as the years have gone by and the longer I've been homeschooling, the more I have veered towards even more Charlotte Mason in our homeschool. So today I am sharing the curriculum for my 4th and 5th graders, and the reason that I'm doing that together is because they are using level 2 year 1 of the Mater Amabilis curriculum. They are doing it together. They are so close in age that I paired them up. When we made our switch from completely family style curriculum, I decided to keep them together because they both still needed me to read aloud to them, and that just made it much easier. I only had to read aloud 1 set of books rather than 2 sets of books. So they are on the same track. They do have their own math and their own language arts that they do, so they do some things that are a little bit different, but for the most part, as far as all of the other subjects, they are doing the same thing. So I'm going to jump in. I am looking away because I have my computer over here to keep me on track and to tell me, which books I need to be showing you guys because it's a lot. But I also want you to keep in mind, I've been homeschooling for a long time now, and I have curated our book collection over many years, and our books get passed down to the next children in the cycle. So I don't have to buy books for every single child every single year. That would just be an enormous expense that I can't afford. And sometimes with these books that are suggested for Mater Amabilis, some of them are out of print, some of them are difficult to find, they're expensive. If I can't find them for a reasonable price, we will do something different. So I try to keep costs down in that way. But I do have some newer things that I bought this year for the kids and some different things that I'm excited to try. So let's dive in. The first thing we're going to talk about is our religious studies. Now, I noticed as I was going through all of these books that I'm missing a couple of books, and I think they are in my boy's bedroom somewhere because my 7th grader used the books a couple years ago, and I just think that I never got them out of his room. So they've got to be in there. They're not on any of my bookshelves, and I know that he used those books. So I'm going to have to go in there and see if I can round up those books. But the first one that I want to talk about is one that I need to go and round up, and that is The First Christians, The Acts of the Apostles for Children by Marigold Hunt. That's what we are using for our main religious education text for the New Testament. This is actually, let's see, I thought it was used over 2 years, but I don't think so. It's only used over 1 year, but that is our main religious text. And then for saints, we are going to be using the Young People's Book of Saints. So we will read that one. I think we will be reading this one over 2 years. And then we always try to read some saint biographies. And these are the 2 that I have chosen so far. So I have Saint Joan, the Girl Soldier. I think my daughter will like this one. And then Saint Dominic and the Rosary. And then our catechism. So they are going to be split up to do their catechism separately. Last year I did it together, but they're going to do them separately this year. We use the Faith and Life series. So I have, I believe, this is for 5th grade. And then Jesus Our Guide, this is for 4th grade. So they will be split up to do these. They are very simple in that they just read a chapter, and then there's some questions to answer at the end. And I will typically have them do the Bible verse for their copy work. And then one of the things about this curriculum is we will do different books based on where we are in the liturgical calendar. So for Advent, this is a book that I have ordered. I haven't received it yet, but it's the stories of the child Jesus from many lands. Every time I try to find that book in previous years, it has been super expensive and difficult to find. And I was able to snag it on Amazon as a used book. It's taken it a while to get here. It wasn't on Prime, so I think it should actually be here today, but I was able to find it for a reasonable price. So I went ahead and snagged that. And then for Lent, we will read My Path to Heaven. And you will notice I get a lot of my books from thrift books. And I've done pretty well. Sometimes you get some books that are really not in great condition. I think I've only had that happen to me maybe 2 or 3 times. Most of the time, the books are in really good shape. So that is what we're going to be doing for Lent. And then the suggested book for Easter is St. Jude, A Friend in Hard Times. I've had a really difficult time finding that one. It's out of print. They do have an in-print option that I haven't looked for yet of Bells and Cells. So that may be next on my list of books to find. But that is what we are doing for religious studies for 4th and 5th grade. And as I stated, more than likely the kids are going to be reading this on their own. We're just going to have to kind of see, because last year I read all of their stuff to them except for, you know, their independent reading. So we're going to see. This is going to be a transition year for them. Okay, now we're going to talk about math, and they are each doing their own thing with math. So for my 4th grader, she is going to be using Math with Confidence 4. She saw Math with Confidence that I was using with my 1st grader, and she really liked the way that it looked. So she requested that we switch her to Math with Confidence. So we're going to try Math with Confidence grade 4 for her. And then my 5th grader is going to stay with teaching textbooks. So he will be doing teaching textbooks 5 for math for the coming school year. Of course, that's all. We have an iPad set up for them. So he does all of that on the iPad. Okay, now let's talk about English. So obviously the kids are going to be reading daily. They are getting lots and lots of reading from their religion books, from their history books that you will see, from their geography, and even from their science. So they are reading all the time. We also incorporate a lot of copy work. We do the harp and the laurel wreath together. That's a family subject. Shakespeare is also a family subject. I'm not showing those today. For compositions, we do regular narration. So they do have notebooks. I have not purchased everyone's notebook as of yet, but I do have a video on School Nest notebooks, and we're going to continue with the School Nest notebooks. So they're going to continue with their science School Nest notebook and their history School Nest notebook that I've already purchased, and then I will get them a new grade notebook. So my 4th grader will have the 4th grade notebook, and my 5th grader will have the 5th grade notebook, and that's where they're going to put down any copy work that I assign them from their religious studies, anything that they have to do with their literature lessons, as well as we are going to try out story starters for writing. This is by Karen Andriola. It says helping children write like they've never written before. So I love Karen Andriola's books, so I am excited to give this one a try with them. It says story starters is designed to replace dry, dull writing with exciting writing, invoke sympathy for characters, and encourage writing with feeling, expand a child's literary powers with the practice of narration, develop a child's imagination with the embellishment of story plots, stimulate reasoning powers with opportunity for problem solving, reawaken an interest in language arts, and uphold biblical virtues. So we're going to give this a try for writing. And then, of course, tried and true, I've had these books forever, language lessons for today. So my 4th grader is going to be moving into language lessons for today, grade 4, and my 5th grader is going to be doing grade 5. Love these books just for grammar practice. They practice writing letters, they practice all sorts of things, the different parts of speech and all kinds of things like that. Short, simple, gentle lessons. Highly recommend if you're interested in a language arts curriculum like that. It's super easy to implement. We also still use reading eggs. Reading eggs we use as a supplement to all of this other stuff that we're doing. I don't like to use a ton of online stuff for my younger kids, but reading eggs has been very good and very helpful. My 4th and 5th graders are going to be doing the Reading Express, and that's more of reading comprehension. So they're doing that online. And then for spelling, so far I only have the spelling workout for my 4th grader, but my 5th grader will be doing book D. So we do use simple spelling workbooks in our homeschool. So we will be doing spelling workout for spelling. And then I already talked about how much I have fallen in love with handwriting without tears. So we have the cursive handwriting workbook. This is the one for my 4th grader, and I think I'm going to have my 5th grader do this as well. I haven't bought a cursive handwriting workbook for him yet, and he's probably not going to be excited for me to do it, if I'm being honest, but I think he could probably use a bit more practice with cursive handwriting. So that's what we're going to do for him. All right, let's see what's next. Literature. Okay, literature. This is another book I'm gonna have to find because I think my older son has it in his room, but the first one I do have with me, the Children's Homer. So we're gonna be doing mythology this year. We're gonna be reading the Children's Homer. We're also going to be reading the Aeneid for boys and girls. That is our main literature curriculum. And then I have a huge selection of literature books. And a lot of these are probably going to end up being family read-alouds. And if the kids are interested, they can read them themselves as well. But I do want to show you a few that I have that I really want to read. Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, The Railway Children, Swallows and Amazons, and then The Secret Garden. This is one of my favorite books, and I finally got a beautiful copy of it. And I've never read this one aloud to the kids. We did listen to it as an audiobook, and I don't think that they really got to enjoy it as much as they should have. So we're going to try to do this one again. Of course, I mentioned Shakespeare and poetry. Those are done as family subjects during our morning time. So when I make that video, I'll talk more about that then. Now we're going to talk about the national history stream that we're doing. So the national history stream that we're doing is British history, and we are using Our Island Story. This is a very thick book. This book will be used over 2 years. And then there are some literature selections that will go along with it that we're going to read. We have And God Bless the Irish, Augustine Came to Kent, and then The Hidden Treasure of Glaston. I may have said that wrong. I don't know. And then we also will be reading Our Lady's Dowry. That is a PDF on the Mater Amabilis website that I still need to print off and bind. But that will be our British history stream for this school year. And then our ancient history stream, we are going to be reading Famous Men of Greece. So we're going to be learning a little bit about the Greeks here. Now, there are also literature books that go along with this piece of literature. I haven't pulled any of those out yet because I'm not sure that we're even really going to get to those read-alouds, but there are some really good literature books that go along with that. Okay, so let's talk about geography and earth studies. So for geography this school year, we are going to be reading Paddle to the Sea and Seabird, and my middle son already read these, but I decided to add in the Holling Geography Unit Study from Beautiful Feet books, so that maybe we can go a little bit deeper with those books. I also purchased the maps that go along with this study from Beautiful Feet books as well. I don't have them here with me. They're all rolled up in a container, but we're gonna try to do this study along with those books this school year. And then we also have our People and Places study, and we're going to be doing Americas, and it's just going to be simple reading. So each term will be a different book. So we have The K, we have Secret of the Andes, and then we have Where the Flame Trees Bloom. Now I know you guys are seeing all these books. There's tons and tons of books here. The thing is, they are broken up. Some of them are not read every single term. Some of them are going to be read, you know, in term 2 or term 3. It's going to be broken up throughout the entire school year. And then the other books that we linger in longer, they're just short readings once or twice a week. And then, like I said, some of these books are read over 2 years. Some of them are read over this entire 1 school year. It just depends. So the work is broken down into very manageable chunks. So I just want you to keep that in mind when you see all of these books and everything. And also that's why sometimes I'm like, well, we don't really need to add more read alouds to our ancient Greece study because we're already doing all of these other wonderful read alouds. Now for map work this school year, I did decide to purchase the geography coloring book. Mater Amabilis does have lesson plans that go with this coloring book, and we are going to just do this for our map work. Map work has been something that I've struggled with over the past few school years. I don't really know why. It just hasn't been something that we have been able to do consistently. So this is my way of trying to do it a little bit more consistently. So let's talk about science. Now, our main science texts are going to be Science in Ancient Greece. And then this is another one that I'm going to have to try to find in my boys' bedroom. It's Archimedes and the Door of Science. So I know that I have that book here somewhere. It's just not on any of my bookshelves. So those are going to be our 2 main texts. We also have The Librarian Who Measured the Earth and Our Solar System. Those are also 2 other books that I know that I have, but I need to go and see if they're in my boys' room. Now for our activities, we are going to be using Home Science Adventures. I already purchased the kits. So we have the Wonder of Light kit. This one got a little squished, but this is the Magnetism Adventure. And then something I'm trying to decide for term 3, we're supposed to be learning about simple machines. And I don't know if I want to go with the Good and the Beautiful's simple machines unit study, or if I want to do the simple machine unit study from Knowledge Crates. I'm still deciding on that, but we will be learning about simple machines in some capacity during term 3. Okay, now we have gotten down to our electives. So my kids are not doing any co-ops, any classes outside of the house this school year. So we are doing all of our electives at home. And the first one that I want to talk about is Spanish. So my kids have taken some Spanish classes at an enrichment, I guess it's like a hybrid school, but we weren't using it in that capacity. We were just doing some of their extracurricular activities. So they did do a Spanish class there. This is the fun Spanish, and I talked about in one of my previous videos, I can't teach like Spanish 2, Spanish 3, high school level Spanish, but very basic beginner level Spanish is something that I'm comfortable teaching. So we're going to be trying out the fun Spanish for Spanish. And then art. I love artistic pursuits, and I used this back at the beginning of my homeschool journey with my older kids, and then I kind of got away from it. I actually sold all of my artistic pursuits curriculum, and we got away from it because we would do art classes in different co-ops or different communities or different things that we tried. So I didn't really think to even try to do an actual art curriculum at home until this school year. And I have a lot of kids who are very interested in art. So for my 4th and 5th grader, we are doing elementary 4 to 5 book 1, The Elements of Art and Composition. So I'm excited to dive into that with them. And then also piano. I'd love to get the kids actual piano lessons, and it's probably not going to be something that happens this school year, but we are going to try piano for the young beginner. We have primer A and B. So we're going to give that a try at home and see how that goes. We've used Hoffman Academy in years past, and that's great too. Just different things. Like I don't expect my children to be world-renowned pianists or anything like that, but I'd like them to at least know the basics. And then finally, the last elective that I am planning for them to do is typing. We do have these typing books from The Good and the Beautiful. Typing 1, I think, bit the dust somewhere. I don't know if I still have it. Actually, I might. I think I might have it over there on my shelf. I think I can see it over there. But we're going to try typing for these kids so they can learn some typing skills. And then, like I said, we still have some other subjects that we do as a family: nature study, Shakespeare, all of our picture study, hymns, folk songs, all of that stuff. And I will share that in another video. So this is a lot. If you enjoy this video, please give us a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I have a lot more curriculum videos coming your way. Also, I will have a blog post down in the description below so you can see the full breakdown of everything that we are studying for 4th and 5th grades. So I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.